1 month ago, this is what they were saying.
$146 million. That is the year-end budget deficit for the city of Chicago. But it is nothing compared to the projected shortfall in 2026. CBS News Chicago investigator Megan DeMar breaking down those numbers for us. And Megan, even the most optimistic outlook seems pretty grim.
Right, Marie, we're talking about a $1 billion deficit for 2026. And the city's budget director warned that is an optimistic outlook for the future.
Have we eaten our vegetables before we're asking for the taxpayers at all levels and other units of government to give us dessert?
So before, just a month ago, did I say it, Jesse, or did I say it? Just a month ago, they said the budget deficit is going to be $1.15 billion for one city, for the city of Chicago. Brandon Johnson yesterday unveiled the real budget deficit, the newly projected budget deficit, and this is what they came up with.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson unveiled his 2026 budget plan today. Now, the gap in that budget is bigger than first thought. It is more than $1 billion. Now, the mayor promises no property tax hike and no grocery tax. So where is he going to find the money to plug that hole? Our political reporter, Marianne Ahern, is here now with the details. Marianne.
Good afternoon, Alex. A key part of the mayor's budget proposal is a corporate head tax. That is a tax on the biggest companies in the city based on how many employees they have. It's something the city got rid of more than a decade ago. But now the mayor wants to bring it back, and already it's proving to be a tough sell.
And then finally eliminating the head tax.
Getting rid of the corporate head tax was a cornerstone of Rahm Emanuel's first mayoral campaign. Mayor Brandon Johnson's 2026 budget proposal would not only revive, but steeply increase the tax on big companies. He's pitching it as a way to fund community safety.
And so we are asking big tech to chip in. We are asking corporate landlords and yacht owners to chip in, but we are also asking the larger corporations to step up in this moment.
The tax would apply to companies with at least 100 employees, about 3% of corporations in Chicago. They would have to pay $21 per employee each month. It's drawing criticism from business leaders and aldermen concerned about jobs.
In 2018 in Seattle, they passed this a similar type thing, and it was repealed less than a month later because of similar concerns. So I suspect that is not going anywhere.
However, Johnson's supporters put the blame on the Trump administration.
When we think about the upward push with the tax cuts that have been made on some of the wealthiest of Chicagoans, I do believe that it brings some level of equality.
Another big.
What is the Democrat strategy, y'all? When in doubt, blame Trump. When you don't want to take accountability, blame Trump. Before we even get into the budget deficit aspect of this, is it fair to say that Democrat cities and Democrats is like a bad hoe, bro? It's like a hoe that don't earn that you put out on Figueroa Street. It's a bad hoe. America and dealing with these Democrat cities, it's like being in a bad relationship with a chick that won't stop spending. And then she keep asking on what it is, why we don't have the quality of life that we supposed to have. Being in a Democrat-led city, not all of them, but most of them, is like being in a relationship with a hoe that you turned into a housewife, bro. What you thought that she was going to stop hoeing? Nigga, because she got married to you because it looked good on the outside? You thought that she was going to stop busting it down for real when you thought the nature of who she was different? What you thought that they was going to come up with a different plan? It's like being in a financially abusive relationship. What you didn't know, what you thought that your prenup. It's like being in a bad relationship with a toxic hoe. She don't bring no value and she keep on asking for money. And then if anything goes wrong, even when it comes to her own decisions, who she gonna blame? You? Blame Trump. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that Chicago was already in a budget deficit, multi-year budget deficit before Trump ever got into office. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Chicago was in a multi-year budget deficit before Trump ever touched office? Gave away upwards of about $1 billion in Chicago alone, upwards of close to $1 billion in Chicago alone to illegal migrants. What companies, who's the owner of them, we don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. Ain't got a clue. Y'all got an elementary school teacher running the whole city into the ground. We ain't got a clue. Ain't got a freaking clue to save our life. What's the solution? Blame Trump. Don't worry, there's more. There's a lot more.
Chicagoans, I do believe that it brings some level of equality.
Another big priority in the budget, a new tax on large-scale social media companies like X, YouTube, and Meta, which owns Facebook. Johnson calling it a first in the nation, but critics expect legal challenges.
And just like we tax other addictive vices that are bad for our health, like nicotine and tobacco, it is far past time we treat social media companies the same way.
There are other tax hikes in the mayor's budget plan, a new online sports wagering tax, as well as what's being called a yacht tax for those who pay boat mooring fees at city harbors. The mayor also.
What's the fastest way to kill business? What's the fastest way to run out the people that pay the majority of the taxes? What is the fastest way to kill your city? Is just to keep on raising taxes. It's to keep on keeping on and just keep on keeping on with raising taxes. I have not seen the destruction of a place. That's why y'all credit rating was downgraded. Yeah, Chicago got bad credit. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Chicago got bad credit? Yes, Chicago has bad credit. Chicago has bad. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Just 9 months ago, we was talking about Chicago. Chicago got a credit downgrade. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna show you the truth. Don't worry about it. I'll show it to you.
The city of Chicago's credit rating has dropped. S&P Global Ratings announced today the city's general obligation bond rating went from BBB plus to just BBB. That means the credit agency believes the city is more likely to default. The rating drop comes after plenty of turmoil in City Hall over the city's budget before the council finally passed a budget near the end of the year. Tonight, Chicago pushing back on the downgrade. The city saying, quote, despite the public budget negotiations over the last couple of months, the city's credit fundamentals have not changed, and the rating does not accurately reflect the strength of the city's credit or ability to meet its debt and pension obligations.
Now, I want to show you something. This was 9 months ago. And this particular video from ABC 7 Chicago, it only got 688 views. So you know, I don't blame you. 3 comments, 688 views. So, you know, if nobody knew about this, I understand it. I read stuff and I look at stuff that other people may not necessarily be paying attention to. But let's go back into what we was talking about, the whole proposed budget for 2026. Round and round we go. Same circle. Back at it again. This is what's happening.
Pitched his $16 billion spending plan to a city council this afternoon.
His plan does not include a property tax hike, but he wants corporations and social media companies to help pay for it. WGN's Angelica Sanchez has reaction.
The Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce says Mayor Brandon Johnson's new budget proposal will make Chicago a less attractive investment. They say they don't see shared sacrifice in his new tax proposals.
Our view is we need to have pro-growth strategies, not job-killing taxes.
Jack Lavin, president and CEO of the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, says many businesses have not shaken the setbacks from the pandemic, and the mayor's suggestions won't help.
Especially our restaurants and our hospitality industry, their margins are 2%.
In order to close a nearly $1.2 billion shortfall in next year's budget, the mayor wants to lean on the wealthy. He argues many are not paying their fair share.
Our budget proposal asks the large corporations and the ultra wealthy to chip in a little bit more.
Ain't nothing like telling somebody else how to spend their money. Ain't nothing like, listen, hey man, hey, we tight out here, man. The food is a little short. Yeah, okay, so we don't know where the money went. And nigga, what you got? What's the snaps on my petrol? Chicago to rich people is like Debo. Hey, Craig. What's up, Smokey? Chicago to rich people is Debo. They doing the same thing in New York. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get there later on in the show. They Debo. Checking your pockets, patting you down. Hey, I'm going to put mine under. I'm going to put mine under. I'm going to just tuck mine in. That's what the middle class, the middle class is red. I'm going to just tuck mine in. I'm going to get there without question. Don't worry about it. This is y'all show today. I'm going to just tuck mine in. And you find that chain from the middle class. Hey, man, my mama bought me that chain. My mama bought me that chain. This is y'all sit. That's y'all bite. That's y'all taxes. We just gonna keep it over at Brandon Johnson's house. Do y'all know that y'all paying this guy to raise taxes on y'all? And the funniest part about this whole situation is that what they don't realize is that it's not like y'all can't leave. You're not beholden to Chicago. The beautiful thing about America and its capitalistic way of doing business is that companies, look, I'll give you an example because some of y'all don't think that it's possible. And Brandon Johnson, his big pitch is the rich people ain't going nowhere. Rich people aren't going anywhere. We just asked them to chip in a little bit more to pay their fair share. No fixing it, no balancing the budget the right way, no reducing spending, no going through in Department of Government Efficiency, none of it, right? You know what the funniest part about Chicago and them having such arrogance and how awesome they are? Because for some reason, they don't think that anybody is going to go anywhere else, that no companies is going to move, that rich people is just going to stay put and they just going to keep on letting you have their hands in their pockets, that the middle class is not going to be ultimately the ones that bear the brunt of this. They've been fleeced more in better places. You know how people say that saying? I've been kicked out of better places. I ain't even tripping about it. It's cold as hell in Chicago. Have y'all know what it feel like in the wintertime? They don't call it the Windy City for no reason. What you think that Chief Keef left because he was scared of the streets? Chief Keef left because it wasn't of a conducive environment in general. If companies are willing to leave Silicon Valley, if they're willing to leave California, because at least California is on the coast, it got better weather. And that's the one thing that the West Coast is always going to have over us is that it's better weather out there. But see, when they got out of control, it was like, okay, well, whatever. We'll leave. We'll go to Nashville. We'll go to Texas. We'll go to Florida. We'll go anywhere. But see, when you start tapping into my pockets, it's a problem. You can't even pitch them and say, well, listen, it's the best weather. People want to live here no matter what. They even willing to live here in van life and just rock out. You don't have nothing to offer these people. Rich people will live anywhere. They will go to Puerto Rico. They will go to Florida. They will go to Texas. They will go to any state that don't have high taxes, and then they'll be able to thrive. It's the poor people that's trapped. Poor people are trapped. And you got more competition than ever before because cities are incentivizing companies and rich people to go and move there because they understand that the value that they bring. They know that they're going to pay the majority of the taxes. And rich people are glad to pay the majority of the taxes. They just don't want to be over finessed. We already feel like we overburdened and we overtaxed. They will move in a heartbeat, and won't even think about it. They'll spend 6-7 months in a whole nother state, come back, hang out in the summertime, knowing that they got family back there, keep a little small residence maybe, but they whole tax base, how much money they make, it ain't going to Chicago. It ain't going to Chicago. But see, this is what happens when you let an elementary school teacher. This is what happens when you let an elementary school teacher run the city and then play Monopoly, play The Sims with y'all money.
So that working families are not burdened with higher property taxes or grocery taxes or garbage fees.
He emphasizes he
What
won't
up,
be raising
Shion
property
Point?
taxes, but the mayor's proposal includes a string of new taxes. Two in particular are raising eyebrows in the business community. One is the revival of a corporate head tax where companies in Chicago with more than 100 employees would pay $21 per person a month. Former Mayor Rahm Emanuel eliminated that tax after more than 40 years. This time around, Mayor Johnson wants to put the estimated $100 million in revenue towards anti-violence programs. He argues a safer city will...
They did this in Seattle. Now, Seattle, they got Amazon at their headquarters. They got Microsoft as their headquarters. They got the big dogs. Like they worldwide headquarters. Seattle, as liberal as it is, they got the big dogs out there. And they pay billions upon billions and billions of taxes. And in less than a month after they tried to pull this foolishness in Seattle, they was like, you know what? We just playing. We don't really want that. We just playing. Y'all really think that this is gonna fly? Y'all have the highest vacancy rate that you've ever experienced in your entire life on the Magnificent Mob, on the Mag Mob. Do you really think that the people is going for this, that the business owners is going for this? I feel bad for the citizens. I feel bad for the job losses. I feel bad for the people that's not going to really be able to raise their children in the Chicago that you used to know. I do. I genuinely feel bad for you guys. The Chicago you knew is no more. It's over. Party is over. The music is stopping. There's nobody left dancing on the floor. The club is closing. The light's about to come on, and the only thing that's left is Booger Wolves. The only thing that's left when the lights come on, when the club close, is the people that wasn't picked. The only people that'll be left when this carnage is done is the Booger Wolves. The Booger Wolves tend to be the poor people. The equivalent of what the Booger Wolves are when the lights come on, when the club is closed and you got to actually pay attention to the thing you may have to take home, is the equivalent of the people that are going to be trapped in Chicago trying to hold on. It's over. Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. Hey, shawty. Turn the lights on.
Be more attractive to both businesses and their employees. The other proposal upsetting businesses is an increase to taxes on cloud computing. Levin says that the consumer would end up paying the costs.
Every company of every size and sector will pay that cloud tax, not big tech. It will be paid by the end user. And so that is another job-killing tax.
Not everyone is against the budget plan. A former teacher and CTU organizer, Mayor Johnson, wants to give $500 million in TIF surplus funds to Chicago public schools. In a statement, the Chicago Teachers Union says, today, Mayor Brandon Johnson delivered the most transformative budget to come out of City Hall in generations. He is protecting our city from Trump's cuts and proposing a budget that fights for working people instead of against them. The mayor's team says they found more than $200 million in savings across city departments. They also want to extend a citywide hiring freeze and cap overtime for Chicago police officers. Still, Lavin says it's hard to see shared sacrifice when the city budget has increased by more than $6 billion in recent years. The Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce says this is the start of a long process. They say that they will continue to advocate for the businesses they represent before this budget is finalized.
I feel so bad for the people in Chicago. I do. I feel even worse for the people that don't see it coming. I feel even worse for the people that don't see it coming. Yep, it's coming, and it's going to be a gnashing of the teeth. I keep telling y'all, I'm able to predict this stuff so easily. I keep telling y'all, I said, listen, the budget deficit is probably going to be closer to $1.5, $1.6 billion. Now, what do we see? Right away, $1.5, $1.6 billion. Everything that they estimate, just add like 30 to 40% to it. Everything that they talk about, add 30 to 40% to it. They got mad at me on Instagram and said, Anton, what are you talking about? Chicago was ranked the best city to visit in the United States of America. I said, nigga, where? By who? Who took that test? You lied to me. You lied to me. Anton, you don't know what you're talking about. Chicago was ranked the best big city to visit in the United States of America. Okay. Okay. Hey, y'all got so much time on y'all hands. We just gonna watch the implosion of this stuff. We gonna watch the implosion of it. Y'all ain't even got the best pizza. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Chicago style pizza is done better in other places. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. Chicago style pizza is done better in other places. I talked to my spiritual advisor the other day.